Hello everybody and welcome back, and we're going to continue to make this sign distance field that's going to be a staircase and apples instead of this basic setup. So we have this basic setup and we're going to go back to Houdini and we're going to make a stair. So in here we're going to start off. So this is our simple example. We can just put it to the side here. We're not going to use that anymore. So we're going to have a box, and this box is going to represent a stair. So what we're going to have, we're going to have a 3, 2, 1 maybe. So this is going to be a stair. So it looks like a really weird stair, but it's actually, if we do like, no, we're going to free here. So I'm going to show you. So if we do copy transform, and we're going to just make it, let's say 6, and if I do enter here, I can move it like this and decide how many stairs I want like this, and let's do 15 maybe. And here, so we later gonna do Boolean shape, so I'm actually want more on this one, because then it's easier to delete the lower part. You're gonna understand it a bit. So also we're gonna have a box, and this box is gonna be on the side. So we're gonna have it like this. I'm gonna make sure it's a little bit more aligned like this. It looks good. Yeah, this works good. So, and we're also gonna have it to the side, and I'm just gonna make a mirror. Now you see it's duplicated like that, and we just merge it. So we have a stair. So, and what we're gonna do now is make a VDB from polygons, and we're gonna have we're actually gonna convert VDB, and this is going to be converted back to a polygon. So now we have everything super nice here. It's kind of welded together, merged together. And we're just going to make a bend on this one. And the bend node can be a little bit tricky sometimes. But if I take the space 2, then I have the top view. And if I take the set capture region, I take down here and up here. And then if I bend and twist here to twist the up angle to 90. So then I have this shape like this. I find this node really good, but it's a little bit hard to grasp sometimes. But now it works really good. So now we're going to do a Boolean, because I actually just want to remove a little bit some edges here. I don't find it look so good. And if we look, well, let's have this as a ref, and we do a box here. And this box is gonna represent the thing that we're gonna save. So everything inside the box is gonna be saved. So we're gonna cut this part here. I think I'm gonna cut this part here. Yeah, this is good. like this, and here we're gonna have a little bit more, and save, yeah, like this. This is good. So then we just do a boolean like this, and we're gonna do operation is gonna be intersection, and then we have this shape. So I'm actually gonna delete a little bit more here, like this. Actually a little bit more here. I'm gonna keep it. It's good to have some kind of thickness for the shapes, for the SDF, and then we do like this. Cool, I'm happy with this. So I'm gonna make remesh. And this remesh, let's do some iteration, because you see what's going on here. It's like zigzag a little bit. I want to remove it. So now it looks much better. Yeah, we're going to keep it like this. So I just want a little bit of noise in this one. I'm going to do it in a point VOP like this. And in the point VOP, we're going to just make static noise. So we're going to point, go into the position, position to position, and then we have the position here. It's going to be an add. So we're going to add this noise, but we're going to make sure it's 3D noise to 3D noise. So we're going to, and also we're going to do a fit range. It's like a remap. So the incoming values is 0 to 1, and we want it 0 to 1 and be remapped to -1 to 1. And then we just do a multiply and a constant that's going into the multiply, and this is going to be a small value. So when we add the offset, it's not going to be super much. So let's do just a little bit. And also, yeah, maybe that's nice. I'm going to change to the noise type to Whirly Cellular. And the frequency, I want it a little bit higher. It looked pretty good from the start, actually. So let's say we're happy with this staircase. So, and now we can use later we're gonna have labs measure curvature. This one is really nice because it saves the curvature, and I'm gonna change method to volume and sample resolution higher. And if I open these ones too, and you can just change this clamp the values so they only take the most hard edges. So then I have this one. So later I'm going to do some shading stuff on this one. So, and now we want to, well, I'm actually going to do a poly reduce. Because now we have primitives is polygons, so it's 13,000 polygons down here. And I actually just wanted to lower it. We don't need so many. So just to be a little bit nicer to the game engine, we could do, of course, optimize it more, but I'm going to leave it like this. And now I'm going to do a match size. So I'm actually going to have it like this. Maybe you want it to have it like this, but and there's a good way to resolve that. But the reason I wanted to have in the center is because when we do this ISO offset that we made in the previous tutorial, we have it here. We made this one, and we copied parameter, and then we pasted here. And negated these ones. So we're actually just gonna copy this one here and make sure we have the stair name. We don't need to redo it. So we can remove this one, and now we have the bounding box here. Maybe we want 8. Actually, let's see. Okay, so we need it like at least 6 to cover it all. And I want the resolution to be 64. Maybe that's enough, I hope so. And then we just do an export. Yeah, so now it's exported. And also I want a reference, so I'm actually going to do like this. I'm going to do an auto UV. So now you can see it's kind of, if we just remove this one for a bit, you can see it's shaded. And if we do a box here and we do an UV unwrap. So if we do space 5, we can see it here. But I want this one to be scale is none. So that means that 1 meter is UV mapped in the whole UV map like this. So I call that real world scaled. So that's really nice. If you always have this resolution, you know always how the materials will end up. So why I did this? Well, now we can do this UV transform in the stair. Then we just make sure that the UV match up with this box here. And then we know that the materials will be as expected. So we have that one. I'm going to put this one back. And then we just do this we can just reuse this part from the last tutorial. So this one is scaled 100 times, and this ROP FBX is going to be the stair. All right, so we just do save to disk. And here now we have the stair, so we can remove this box. And the stair also here, and let's see. So the box example, we are going to have the stair instead. And what's important is that the size need to be, here we made the bounding box from -6 to 6, so it's going to be 12 in the X, and it's going to be 12 in all of the floats. So here we just do 12, 12, 12, and now it works. So now we need to make sure that we have the stair exactly on this one. So you see, it's actually, this box doesn't really work as intended anymore. That's because it's not representing the offset that the particle system has. So what we do, we just need to here in the spawn, let's see, here this position, so the size is okay, but the spawn position, we need to do world to local, and we need to get the position from the spot from the system, and we just add it. So we need to add it to the center, And when we have this setup here, the spawning position, and we do world to local, now this one works again. And here you can see it start to interact with the stair. So this is super cool. So this is good. So now let's change it to some cool apples. So I'm gonna put the spawning box on the apples VFX like this, because now if we do move the stair itself, we move the spawning system as well. All right, so this is cool. So here we want to do some stuff. And the first thing we want to do, actually size, I want to change this part. Do set random size. So I want the apples to be a little bit different size like this. So now it's random. And also I don't want it to be particles. I want it to be lit mesh. I want it to be a particle lit mesh. So we can delete this part, and here we're just going to make the capsule going to be a sphere instead. So if we look now, it should be some balls bouncing around instead. And I also want the lifetime to be like 15 to 20 seconds. And also you see they are not colliding with the floor. So we're going to add, let's see, in the update part, we're going to do collide with a plane. And this plane going to actually be, so we can see here that the Apple VFX position is 3.4. So if we just take the collide with plane, and we do the plane position and negate 3.4. Now you see it's colliding with a plane. So radius mode going to be from size on the plane, so the balls is also floating on it. All right, so let's see. So we're actually going to have an apple as well. We're going to make an apple as a mesh. And let's see. So we're going to make a sphere. We're going to change the resolution because we don't need so much resolution on this one. And we're going to make a group because we want the top and bottom part to be a little bit squeezed inside. So we can just use the points, and we're going to name this like top, bottom, like this. And we're going to have the 0 to 1 points. So you could choose them like this as well. I just happen to know that these ones are always 0 and 1. So you see here, and now do a let's see, no, an UV projection, because we want this like cylindrical. We want to do this projection first, and then we're going to do this soft transform. And if we do this soft transform and we take the top bottom, now we can just scale these ones in a little bit. Now you see we have this kind of apple shape, right? We can also here work a little bit more on the how we want it to react. So I think I want it like this. This is going to be an apple. Even, yeah, this is going to be an apple. And we do a color. I think I'm going to have this to, okay, red. We're actually going to be using it in the shader later. And then I'm just going to do a group expand. So I'm going to take this top bottom, group name, top bottom, base name, top bottom, and I'm going to just expand it a little bit. Because now I'm going to make a color again, and this color is going to be green. And we're going to use that top bottom group. So we do this one going to be green, this one going to be red. Then I'm going to do an attribute blur. So I'm just going to take the colors like this and just blur it a little bit. So we're going to use it in the shader later. So when we have this one, I'm just going to make sure I'm looking in the side view. And then I'm going to do a curve Bezier. And resample this one. So now we have this going to be the stick from the apple. And if we do a sweep on this one, and we take the second input and do it as a round tube, and then we do this apply scale on it. And then we do the radius and do some here. Actually, I do it like this. And then I do the end cap, single grid. And then we have this one. And I'm actually just going to do the UVs and just compute UVs. So we have this as well. Then we just take this one and merge it. And I'm actually going to move this one a little bit down like this. So, and also I'm going to have a color on this one. And this is going to be a blue one. So we can differentiate it in the shader later. So this one going to be a transform. We're going to scale it 100 times to make sure it works in Unity. And then we do a ROP FBX. And this one gonna be the apple like this. And we also want if we do the last node like this, apple mesh, then we can find it by this name in Unity later. So we save it, save to disk, and inside here we're just gonna make sure that the apple is read and write here. And we need to do that so the shader, well, no, the VFX can read it. So now, if we take the apple here and open it, we have the apple mesh here. And then we just plug it into the mesh here in the VFX, and then we see that we have apples instead. We don't see it so good because it's a bad shader on it, and but here you should see it's apples. So if we take the apple to the scene, and yeah, here we have it. So this is kind of almost everything is set up. So I'm going to continue in the next tutorial and finish everything up with adding the materials and tweak it a little bit and do the rotation on the apples. So thank you so much for watching.